What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I'm here to do now my free agency video, potential targets for the Dolphins at the tight end position. As we know, though, and I have mentioned in my last video, there was some stuff done about that already, obviously because of the franchise tag. They put the franchise tag on Gesicki, but we are going to talk through this. And I am going to give you guys the list of players that I had to keep an eye on. And obviously, a lot can change between now and then. So, and there is some, I think the Dolphins are basically good at tight end, especially after they franchise tag Gesicki. Now, I would love to see them, actually get him a longer term deal. And then the other thing that I would like to see them do is take care of Durham Smythe. And then I think with, I want both of them, right? Because Gesicki, Smythe, and Hunter Long were all draft picks. I like to try and keep our draft picks here if, possible. Develop them and then pay them in-house. And I think those guys are worth it, the first two, right? Gesicki and Smythe. I think they are staples of this tight end room and are good, good foundation for it. And then when you add in Hunter Long and Adam Shaheen, I think we're pretty set at tight end. So, anyway, let's go ahead, before we get to the rest of that, though, real quick, start off my position rankings. Now, with them taking care of Gesicki, you could even say that tight end even slips down this list just a little bit, because it's now a little bit less of a priority. Probably, I would say, even less than safety at this point. But, I'll leave it as is for now. So, offensive line, tackle, center, running back, wide receiver, linebacker being true middle, defensive line, edge, and tackle, corner, tight end, safety, backup quarterback, and punter. And then also, too, real quick, because just so I rearranged my note here, my one note here a little bit and whatever. And so just so you guys have it, this is what void years mean. It's basically just, teams will slap a couple years at the back end of a contract that, they're probably gonna, get out of one way or another, whether they release the player or, then redo the deal or something. And it's really just to be able to spread the money out over the course of all of the years, the cumulative years, so that way they can lower the current cap hit or the cap hit across those years. So anyway, let's now get right into free agency for tight ends. So, whoa. Now I'm not gonna, since I just did my deep dive yesterday of Dolphins' current tight ends, I'm not gonna read through all of Mike Gesicki's, information here. I'm just gonna obviously scroll through it. But what I will say is that I am glad to see that they did. By the way, I changed it in the other one, but I don't think I changed it here. So he has been franchise tagged, which is good. I like to see it. Like I said, the only other thing for me with Gesicki is I would just like to see them actually give him a legit, 3-year contract extension or something like that. So anyway, Dalton Schultz actually has also been franchise tagged. He is no longer a UFA, and is also no longer on the market. But, just real quick, he was a guy that I was looking at potentially, especially if they didn't keep Gesicki or whatever, right? So, obviously, and like I said, a lot of these moves are, of course, dependent on, or a lot of these potentials are dependent on the moves that they make. So, but anyway, he got tagged. He's not coming. 26, but we, like I said, tagging Gesicki, it makes it less of a need for us. So, but he's 26. He was cheap. The tag is going to pay him quite a bit more, though. Measurables, combine, he was a round 4 pick in 2018, 137 overall. 4 years in, all with the Cowboys, 60 games played, 36 started, 2,383 snaps, 595.75 per year. 212 targets, 53, 154 receptions, 38.5, 72.6 catch percentage, 1,545 yards, 386.25 per year, 25.8 per game, 10.03 average, 12 touchdowns, 3 per year, and 9 20-yarders. And he set or matched career bests in every one of these categories this past season. and overall has seemed to get a little bit better each year. His snap count generally has gone up each year, at least a little bit. 17 games played, 15 started, 993 snaps, 104 targets, 78 receptions, 75 catch percentage, 808 yards, 47.5 per game, 10.36 average, and 8 touchdowns and 6 20-plus yarders. So kind of coming into his own a little bit. Obviously a young player that is intriguing to people, but the Dallas Cowboys did decide to tag him. So anyway, that does move us on to now Rob Gronkowski. I just put him on this list just because he's Rob Gronkowski. He's a big name, whatever. He was never going to be like a top target for me. My solution to the tight end position was always going to be, franchise tag and or, give Gesicki a contract extension and then, lock up Durham Smythe for the next few years as well. And then you'd be good. With them two, Hunter Long, who you just drafted, is on a rookie contract only in his second year. And then you have Adam Shaheen, right? So, Rob was never going to be a top target for me, but I figured I'd just have some fun and put him on here. Obviously, from currently with Tampa Bay, he is in some of those void contract years, 33, $8 million current APY, measurables combine, pro day, round 2 pick in 2010, 42 overall, 11 years in. I say 11, it's 11 because he did take a year off, right? He did retire, actually, for a year. So, in 2019, New England Patriots from 10 to 18, 2020 to present with the Bucks, retired in 19, 143 games played, 128 started, 8,263 snaps, 751.2 per year, 760 targets, 87.3 per year, 621 receptions, 56.5 per, 64.7 catch percentage, 9,286 yards, 844.2 per year, 64.9 per game, 14.95 average, 92 touchdowns, 8.4 per year, and 26 20-plus yarders. He has 1 rushing attempt in his career, whatever. And 12 games played, 12 started this past season. Obviously, he also has had a number of injuries over the past few seasons, too. So that is something to think about for any team that would be, potentially trying to target him as a free agent. Anyway, 634 snaps, 89 targets, 55 receptions, 61.8 catch percentage, 802 yards, 66.8 per year, per game, 14.58 average, 6 touchdowns, and 16 20-plus yarders. And of course, he does have quite a few accolades to his name, quite a few. 2011 Pro Bowl in 2011, 12, 14, 15, 17, and All Pro in 2011, 14, 15, 17. He also was also named to the NFL 100 Anniversary All-Time Team, NFL 2010's All-Decade Team. He was the NFL Receiving Touchdowns Leader in 2011, NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 2014. Also got Offensive Player of the Year, 5th place, came in 5th place in 2014. Won a Super Bowl with the he's won 4 Super Bowls. His first Super Bowl with the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 49 back in 2014. Then in 2016, Super Bowl 51, 2018, Super Bowl 53, all those were with the Patriots, and then Super Bowl 55 in 2020 with the Tampa Bay Bucks. And then he even has a few different records that he has set, NFL records. So most receiving touchdowns in a season by a tight end, which was 17. Most career touchdowns in the postseason by a tight end with 15. Most total touchdowns in a season by a tight end with 18, and most 100-yard games by a tight end in NFL history with 32. So obviously rather accomplished. And then you look at his grades. He's been pretty stellar his entire career. 634 snaps this past season, got some solid grades. He's had elite grades pretty much his entire career as well, right? Obviously didn't have any for 2019 because he retired in 2019, right? So there you have it. That is Rob Gronkowski. We know who he is. Now we move on to David Njoku, who is another potential target for me, but he also got franchise tagged. So another guy who does actually come off the board for Cleveland. He will be staying there. He's 26, 2.3 million, basically APY, measurables, combine, pro day, but, we'll run through him. Round 1 pick in 2017, 29th overall, 5 years in, all with the Browns from 17 to present, 65 games played, 36 started, 2,550 snaps, 510 per year. Now he actually would have been probably higher up on the list for me as a younger, relatively cheap guy if they didn't decide to tag, Gesicki or whatever. And if he didn't get tagged by the Browns, he actually would probably be a guy, because I like Njoku. I think he's a good player. I think he could still get better. Anyway, 240 targets, 48 per year, 148 receptions, 29.6 per year, 61.7 catch percentage, 1,754 yards, 350.8 per year, 27 per game, 11.85 average, 15 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns per year, 12 20-plus yarders. Obviously, definitely does still have some room to grow and improve, but I think he can. Had a couple rushing attempts so far in his career. Nothing important there. 16 games played, 11 started this past season with 670 snaps, 53 targets, 36 receptions, 67.9 catch percentage, 475 yards, 29.7 per game, 13.19 average, 4 touchdowns, 8 20-plus yarders, and then matched or set career bests in rushing this year, but who cares? Because there's nothing there. So, does need to, improve, up his production a bit more, right? Probably up his overall snap count, and his grading too, if you want to throw that in there. So he's definitely not perfect, and, they've had some issues there in Cleveland, even with all that talent that they've accumulated that they're now losing, right? Beckham's gone. Jarvis Landry might be leaving. There's talk about maybe Chubb going somewhere else. Njoku, although they did just franchise tag him, et cetera, right? Baker Mayfield, who knows how long he's going to remain the quarterback. So, the Browns, they still haven't achieved their goal that they wanted to achieve from their tanking season, because they finally made it to the playoffs a couple years or whatever, but they're still not they're not maintaining that level of success like they want to, and they still clearly have some issues to work out. So anyway, moving on to the next guy, Zach Ertz from Arizona, currently with Arizona, in some void years, 32 years of age, 8.5 million current APY, measurables, combine, pro day, round 2 pick in 2013, 35 overall. He's a guy to look at if you were going to go after a more veteran player, right? Because he's obviously a dude that's been around for a while, pretty proven. Although the question is would he be able to remain, playing at that level that he has in the past, right? 9 years in, 13 to 20 with the Eagles, 2021 started with the Eagles, then went to the Cardinals, and then Cardinals prefer, presently or whatever. 134 games played, 96 started, 6,868 snaps, 763.1 per year. Has gotten a pretty good average workload, 949 targets, 105.4 per year, 635 receptions, 70.6 per year. So, stacking some decent production here, right? 66.9 catch percentage, 6,841 yards, 760.1 per year, solid there. 51.1 per game, 10.77 average, 41 touchdowns, 4.6 per year, 23 20-plus yarders. A lot of these tight ends have one rush attempt in their career or whatever. So I put the information because it's data to have, but most of these guys are not really used in that way. Anyway, 17 games played this past season, 14 started, 849 snaps, 112 targets, 74 receptions, 66.1 catch percentage, 763 yards, 44.9 per game, 10.31 average, 5 touchdowns, 7 20-plus yarders, and did set some match career bests in rushing. Yay. He did make the Pro Bowl in 17, 18, 19. He was a Super Bowl champion back in 2017, Super Bowl 52, and which should have been with his time with the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. And then most receptions in a season by a tight end with 116. So that's one that Rob Gronkowski doesn't have, and goes to Zach Ertz. And then, of course, you could take a look at his grades. He has been overall pretty great, or graded pretty well, has graded out pretty well pretty much his entire career, except for recently has a little bit of struggles. I don't care about the rushing struggles that he had this year as far as grading goes. And he did get his overall and receiving back to green, but struggled a little in 2020. It is fair to wonder if he's going to be able to give you solid production at this point of his career. We move on to Gerald Everett, another one of the older veteran guys from Seattle in void years. 28, $6 million current APY, measurables, combine, pro day. Round 2 pick in 2017, 44 overall, 5 years in. Started with the Los Angeles Rams from 17 to 20, then the Seahawks from 2021 to present. And there's a lot of changes going on in Seattle right now, obviously, with now Russell Wilson leaving and DK Metcalf potentially being shopped and, all kinds of stuff going on. They just let go of Bobby Wagner. So, by the way, a couple other guys then, potentially for the Dolphins to target or at least to look at. You got Bobby Wagner. He's an older veteran. Obviously, he's linebacker, right? Obviously, he is, getting older and stuff like that. But, a savvy veteran, right? Maybe, again, whatever. Just, maybe potentially take a look at. And then you have, DK Metcalf. I mean, that would be a pretty incredible addition to the wide receiver room. But, are they going to go that route? I don't know. We would see. We'll see, right? Anyway, 76 games played, 23 started, 2,403 snaps, 480.6 per year, 267 targets, 53.4 per year, 175 receptions, 35 per year, 65.5 catch percentage, 1,867 yards, 373.4 per year, 24.6 per game, 10.67 average, 12 touchdowns, 2.4 per year, 14 20-plus yarders, and he actually does have a few more rushing attempts than most of these guys. 8 attempts, 1.6 per year, 51 yards, 10.2 per game, 0.7 per game, or 10.2 per year, 0.7 per game, 6.38 average, 1 touchdown, 220-plus yarders. This past season, his 2021 stats: 15 games played, 12 started, 650 snaps, 63 targets, 48 receptions, 76.2 catch percentage, 478 yards, 31.9 per game, 996 average, 4 touchdowns, and 5 20-plus yarders, and then did also set or match some rushing statistics as well this past season, not just in the receiving game. And as for his grades, kind of meh overall, as you can see. But again, like I said, every person on each one of these lists, every player on each one of these lists, I think, is at least worth doing your due diligence and seeing what you think you can get. Because at the end of the day, what it comes down to is what these guys on this coaching staff think. Because that's always how it's going to be, right? When they do, and you always see that, right? That's often why these coaches, when they come in, they tend to bring in guys that they already know. Right? That happens a lot. You see them bring in guys from their previous stops and stuff like that or that they've crossed paths with, or that they've, coached in the past, right? Because they know them guys already, right? And so they bring their flavor. They always bring their flavor. And so, it's whether or not they think they can, do they like this player? Do they think they can get the most out of him? If he's getting older, do they think they can keep him playing at that same level as he always has been? If he's a younger guy in this league and has kind of struggled a little bit in his first few years, do they think they can coax out all of the potential that he has, right? All of those sorts of things. So it's huge. It depends, obviously, on what these guys think. But again, tight end, in this particular context, I think they've just about done everything they need to do other than lock up Durham Smythe as well. Evan Ingram from the Giants, UFA, 28, 2.7 million, basically current APY, measurables, combine, round 1 pick, 23 overall, 2017 draft status. 5 years in, all with the Giants, 65 games played, 51 started, 3,255 snaps, 651 per year, 429 targets, 85.8 per year, 262 receptions, 52.4 per, 61.1 catch percentage, 2,828 yards, 565.6 per year, 43.5 per game, 10.79 average, 16 touchdowns, 3.2 per year, and 12 20-plus yarders. And then again, another guy who has a little bit more in the rushing category, 14 attempts, 2.8 per year, 80 yards, 16 per game, 16 per year, 1.2 per game, 5.71 average, 1 touchdown, 0.2 per year. And in 2021, he had 15 games played, 12 started, 722 snaps, 73 targets, 46 receptions, 63 catch percentage, 408 yards, 27.2 per game, 8.87 average, 3 touchdowns, 2 20-plus yarders. And interestingly enough, he had 1 rushing attempt for -3 yards. And then he did make the Pro Bowl in 2020 and was a Pro Football Writers Association All-Rookie Team member in 2017. And his grades have been kind of meh, as you can see here. Not so hot in the past couple seasons. Better earlier on. 2018 was his best year. Anyway, moving on, we now get to Max Williams in Arizona, UFA, 28, 2.3 million current APY. Measurables, combine, rounds 2 pick in 2015, 55 overall, 7 years in. Started with the Ravens, 15 to 18, 19 to present with the Cardinals. 72 games played, 44 started, 2,254 snaps, 322 per year. Not getting a ton of workload from him. 129 targets or production for that matter, 18.4 per year, 102 receptions, 14.6 per year, 79.1 catch percentage, 994 yards, 142 per year, 13.8 per game, 9.75 average, 6 touchdowns, 0.9 per year, and 10 20-plus yarders. Handful of rushing attempts. Last year only played 5 games, started all of them though, 221 snaps, 17 targets, 16 receptions, 94.1 catch percentage, 193 yards, 38.6 per game, 12.06 average, 1 touchdown, and 3 20-plus yarders. And then as you can see, his grades have been all right. He's actually had solid grades overall, although didn't get any grades for his 54 snaps in 2016, oddly enough. But as you can see, the thing here really is that his snap count, his usage has been pretty low overall. So with a guy like this do you think that with a higher volume workload, he can actually produce for you, maintain, solid grading, whether you put much stock into PFF or not, and then, play at that level or whatever. All right. Anyway, moving on, we do get to OJ Howard. Howard was not franchise tagged, I don't believe. I don't think so. But I do think that they are trying to bring him back. I think what I saw is he's expected to stay in Tampa Bay. But again, not really high on the priorities list being tight end at that position. So OJ Howard, though, from Tampa Bay, UFA's 28, 2.7 current APY, 2.7 million measurables combine. Round 1 pick in 2017, 19 overall. 5 years in, all with the Bucs so far, 59 games played, 46 started, 2,322 snaps, 464.4 per year, 180 targets, 36 per year, 119 receptions, 23.8 per year. Again, another youngster with not a lot of production so far in his career, 66.1 catch percentage or usage, 1,737 yards. So you could definitely say as a round 1 pick, not quite living up to that potential as of yet. 347.4 per year, 29.4 per game, 14.6 average, 15 touchdowns, 3 per year, and 11 20-plus yarders. And in 2021, 17 games played, 9 started, 365 snaps, 21 targets, 14 receptions, 66.7 catch percentage, 135 yards, 7.9 per game, 9.64 average, 1 touchdown, 1 20-plus yarder. And he obviously is a Super Bowl champion from 2020 there with the Bucs. And his grades have been meh. His best year was 2018. On those 435 snaps that year, got a couple elite grades there. So there you have it for OJ Howard. Still got to live up to that first round draft status, but Anyway, we move on. We now get to Durham Smythe. Obviously, I'm not going to read through all this because I did yesterday in my deep dive of the current Dolphins tight ends, but I will scroll through it, of course, and simply say that I think they should lock him up to a multi-year deal as well. Because I think they just... Honestly, bro, I just think they should keep that tight end room intact. I think it's not been a problem. It's not been a problem. We've had tight end be a problem for us for years and years and years, and now it's not a problem. So let's not try and fix something that isn't broken, right? And let's maintain it the way it is, right? So anyway, did set a number of career bests this year, which is cool. His grades have been kind of meh, whatever, but I do think that they should lock him up because I like that room, like I said. Anyway, I think this is my last player on the list, if I'm not mistaken. CJ Uzomah from Cincinnati, UFA at 29, 6.1 current APY. Measurables, combine, pro day. Round 5 pick in 2015, 157 overall, 7 years in, all with the Bengals. 79 games played, 61 started, 3,051 snaps, 435.9 per year. So kind of, meh usage. A decent amount, but not, a heavy workload. 232 targets, 33.1 per year, 163 receptions, 23.3 per year. Not a ton of production, though. Although, now that they got Joe Burrow and stuff like that, whatever, who knows, right? Maybe he could, and he did set or match a number of career bests this previous season. But anyway, 70.3 catch percentage, 1,591 yards, 227.3 per year, 20.1 per game, 9.76 average, 13 touchdowns, 1.9 per year, and 10 20-plus yarders. 16 games played, 16 started this past season, 802 snaps, 63 targets, 49 receptions, 77.8 catch percentage, 493 yards, 30.8 per game, 10.06 average with 5 touchdowns and 7 20-plus yarders. And hasn't exactly graded out very well over his career, but I think he's a solid player. And again, if the player is on this list, I think they are at least worth taking a peek at in this free agency period, which again is going to open now in 6 days. So we are wrapping up these videos here for free agency. Tomorrow will be, so this is tight ends for free agency. Tomorrow is going to be my deep dive into what's next, safeties, and then I'll be doing my free agency for video for safeties the following day, and then the day after that I'll be doing my deep dive into the Dolphins' current quarterbacks as well as the Dolphins' current punter, because that's obviously only 3 players. That'll be sure I can do all of that in one, pretty quick video. And then the following day it'll be a little bit longer video than the deep dive because there's obviously more players to look at, but still relatively short. And I'm going to do quarterbacks and punters in the same video for that. And then that will wrap up free agency right as free agency is getting ready to open. And we'll actually start to see what is all going on with these players and where do they go, what do the Dolphins do, and then I'll start to really get into the draft, and I'm going to do, as you probably could see in my template here or whatever, that I will be doing very similar breakdowns to all of these college prospects at these different positions. I will not be doing specific deep dive videos for current players on the roster. I will not be doing that video over again. You can just go back and take a look at my deep dive videos for current roster players. But I will be doing breakdown videos for the draft, potential draft prospects after free agency, gets kicked off. So look for that. All of that is coming up very soon. So, and thankfully, though, for me, because, man, this has been a ton of work and it has caused a lot of late nights and kind of thrown my sleep schedule off a little bit, made it a little wonkier than it normally is. So hopefully I'm trying to get myself back to normalized there, which would be good because I don't have quite as much work to put in for all of this stuff now that most of it's done for this off season. But off season for, the beat reporters and stuff like that, and for us content creators, it's still actually very busy. Most fans, casual fans, get to take it off and don't really do much or don't really do anything except maybe even most of the hardcore fans obviously will just basically follow the news. They don't actually do all of this kind of stuff where they make content on it. For us content creators, it's still a very busy time of the year, and so it's actually one of the busier times of the year, believe it or not, because there's a ton of stuff, especially for me, because I am learning so much throughout this process. So about all these different players and prospects and stuff like that. So these different teams and whatever. So I'm loving it. It's been great. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. So please check out my previous videos and all the ones coming up. I did put a ton of work into it, so I hope you guys appreciate it. Before I get out of here, though, make sure you check out the Rave On Sports App, the new fan-driven sports app for all of your sports, whether it be basketball, baseball, football, college, whatever you like. They got it, and they are looking to enhance your game day experience with live play-by-play coverage, live chats with other fans and content creators like myself, while also providing you with an arena to dispute the terrible officiating. So look for the links to that in the description box. And with that, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. Of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at DillonTartaro, as well as on Instagram at Dolphins_with_Dillon. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.
Miami wins it.